When was the last time you checked in with yourself? Stop for a moment. Right now, before the noise of the day takes over. When was the last time you asked yourself whether the life you are living is the life you once envisioned? There was a time when your dreams felt close, almost within reach. A time when your imagination moved faster than your fear. You believed your life would be more than routines, obligations, and quiet compromises. You believed you would grow, evolve, and become someone you truly respected. You made a promise to yourself, and somewhere along the way, that promise became easier to ignore. Not because you failed, not because you lacked discipline or ability, but because life slowly taught you how to settle. This moment is not about guilt. It is about remembering. Why does life sometimes feel so heavy? Most people are not struggling because they lack ambition. They are struggling because they are exhausted. Exhausted from trying. Exhausted from hoping. Exhausted from feeling as though effort never leads where it should. You wake up and move through your day on autopilot. You meet expectations. You handle responsibilities. You do what needs to be done. Yet quietly, consistently, you stop showing up for yourself. Your goals turn into vague ideas. Your passions begin to feel unrealistic. Your dreams start sounding naive, even in your own mind. So you call it being practical. You tell yourself that you are being responsible. You promise that you will focus on what you want later. But later has a way of never arriving. Deep down, you know this is not the life you once imagined. What happened to the person you once believed you could be? There was a version of you who believed without permission. A version of you who did not wait for certainty before taking a step forward. That version of you saw opportunity where others saw risk. You promised yourself courage. You promised yourself growth. You promised yourself that fear would not decide your future. Life did not erase that promise. It only buried it under doubt, distraction, and delay. Here is a truth worth remembering. Dreams do not disappear. They grow quiet when they are ignored. They wait patiently for your attention. They wait for honesty. They wait for the moment you decide to listen again. Why does wanting more feel so uncomfortable? At some point, wanting more started to feel selfish. You were told to be grateful for what you have. You were told to be realistic. You were told to stop chasing ideas that felt uncertain. So you learned to lower your expectations. You learned to accept less excitement, less fulfillment, and less purpose. But wanting more is not a weakness. It is a signal. As a simple reminder says, you are allowed to want more from life. Wanting growth does not mean rejecting what you have. It means refusing to abandon who you are becoming. Is comfort quietly holding you back? Comfort feels safe. It feels familiar. It feels predictable. But comfort can slowly become a cage. You stay where you are because it is known. You delay change because uncertainty feels dangerous. You wait for motivation instead of creating momentum. Yet motivation follows action, not the other way around. The longer you ignore your inner restlessness, the easier it becomes to normalize dissatisfaction. You begin to convince yourself that this is simply how life works. But consider this carefully. You were not created to merely endure life. You were created to grow through it. What if the real issue was never your ability? What if you were never incapable, only disconnected? Disconnected from your values. Disconnected from your purpose. Disconnected from the reasons you started dreaming in the first place. Growth does not require perfection. It requires awareness. You do not need to change everything at once. You need to stop ignoring what matters most. As one powerful line reminds us, confidence is built by keeping promises to yourself. Even the smallest promises count, especially the ones no one else sees. Whose voice has been guiding your decisions? Over time, the noise around you became louder than the voice within you. Comparison took hold. Doubt settled in. Past mistakes began speaking louder than future possibilities. You measured your progress against other people's timelines. You allowed setbacks to shape your identity. You started to believe you were falling behind. But here is something you need to hear clearly. You are not behind. You are becoming. Growth is not linear. Progress is not always visible. Transformation often happens quietly, long before results appear. What changes when you stop avoiding yourself? The moment you stop running from discomfort, clarity begins to emerge. Your priorities become clearer. Your boundaries become stronger. Your decisions align with who you truly are. Life stops feeling like something that happens to you. It starts feeling like something you actively shape. Discipline no longer feels like punishment. It becomes self-respect. Effort no longer feels like suffering. It becomes purpose. As a simple truth states, your future is shaped by the choices you make today, even when no one is watching. What if this is the moment you begin again? You do not need certainty to take the first step. You do not need confidence to begin. You do not need permission to grow. You only need willingness. Willingness to pause. Willingness to reflect. Willingness to question the beliefs that have quietly directed your life for years. Because the life you promised yourself is not gone. It is waiting for your attention. And the next step forward does not begin with force or pressure. It begins by looking inward and understanding the thoughts, beliefs, and inner patterns that have been shaping your choices all along. Stay present, because everything changes when you start paying attention to what is happening within you. Do you truly know what drives you? Before anything in your life changes on the outside, something has to shift on the inside. Not your circumstances, not your environment, not the people around you. You. Most people spend years trying to fix their lives without ever understanding themselves. They chase results without questioning patterns. They set intentions without examining habits. They want clarity, but they never pause long enough to listen. Ask yourself this honestly. Do you know why you react the way you do under pressure? Do you know what consistently pulls you forward and what quietly holds you back? Do you know which habits are helping you grow and which ones are keeping you stuck? Because the truth is simple. You cannot change what you are unwilling to understand. Why do the same patterns keep repeating? Have you ever noticed how certain situations keep showing up in your life? The same frustrations, the same doubts, the same cycle of motivation followed by burnout. This is not coincidence. This is familiarity. Human beings are creatures of habit, not just in what they do, but in how they think. Your thoughts shape your actions. Your actions shape your results. And your results reinforce your beliefs. Many people live on autopilot, reacting instead of choosing. They do not fail because they are incapable. They repeat patterns because those patterns feel known. As a powerful reminder says, awareness is the first step toward change. The moment you begin observing your thoughts instead of believing every one of them, you regain control. What are your strengths really telling you? You likely know what you are bad at. Most people do. But do you truly understand your strengths? Your strengths are not just skills. They are clues. They reveal how you solve problems, how you connect with others, how you move through challenges. Some people thrive under pressure. Some excel at patience and consistency. Some are visionaries, while others are builders. Growth accelerates when you stop trying to be someone else and start refining who you already are. Ask yourself, what comes naturally to me when I am not trying to impress anyone? Where do I feel most capable, most engaged, most myself? As one simple affirmation states, your strengths are not accidents. They are directions. What about the habits you avoid looking at? Just as important as strengths are the habits that quietly sabotage progress. The procrastination disguised as planning. The comfort disguised as rest. The fear disguised as logic. These habits are not moral failures. They are coping mechanisms. At some point, they helped you feel safe. But safety and growth rarely coexist. Instead of judging these habits, observe them. Ask better questions. When do I avoid action most? What emotion am I trying to escape in those moments? What story do I tell myself to justify staying where I am? Honesty without judgment creates momentum. How can one shift in thinking change everything? Consider this real-life example. A woman spent years believing she was bad with money. Every mistake reinforced that belief. She avoided looking at her finances, convinced that she lacked discipline. One day, she changed the question. Instead of asking, "Why am I so bad at this?" she asked, "What am I avoiding and why?" She realized her habits were rooted in fear, not incompetence. Fear of making mistakes. Fear of feeling inadequate. By addressing the fear, not just the behavior, everything changed. She learned. She practiced. She grew. Her circumstances did not change first. Her thinking did. As a reminder goes, the story you tell yourself determines the life you live. Are you responding or reacting? There is a powerful difference between reacting and responding. Reaction is automatic. It is driven by emotion and habit. It happens without thought. Response is intentional. It creates space. It allows choice. When something triggers frustration, pause. When doubt appears, observe it. When fear shows up, question it. Ask yourself, is this thought helping me move forward? Is this reaction aligned with who I want to become? You do not need to eliminate negative thoughts. You need to stop letting them drive. What daily practice builds inner strength? Growth does not come from rare moments of inspiration. It comes from daily awareness. Here is a simple exercise. At the end of each day, ask yourself 3 questions. What went well today? What challenged me today? What did I learn about myself today? These questions build clarity. They turn experiences into lessons. They transform ordinary days into opportunities for growth. Another powerful practice is intentional silence. Even 5 minutes without distraction. No phone, no noise, just awareness. As one grounding statement says, clarity comes when the mind slows down. Why do beliefs matter more than circumstances? 2 people can face the same obstacle and experience completely different outcomes. One sees limitation, the other sees possibility. The difference is not intelligence or luck. It is belief. Beliefs shape perception. Perception shapes decisions. Decisions shape life. If you believe you are capable of learning, you will try. If you believe failure defines you, you will avoid. This is why growth begins internally. Replace limiting beliefs with intentional ones. I am learning. I am allowed to grow at my own pace. I can handle discomfort. Repeat them until they feel natural. Not because they are magic, but because repetition builds identity. What happens when you stop fighting yourself? Many people waste energy fighting who they are instead of working with themselves. They force motivation. They shame inconsistency. They demand perfection. But growth thrives on compassion paired with discipline. When you stop attacking yourself for struggling and start supporting yourself through it, progress becomes sustainable. As one affirmation reminds us, be patient with yourself. You are learning. Patience does not mean complacency. It means commitment without cruelty. How do small shifts create big change? You do not need a dramatic transformation. You need consistency. Small adjustments compound over time. Choosing reflection over distraction. Choosing responsibility over excuses. Choosing awareness over avoidance. Each choice strengthens inner alignment. And slowly, quietly, you become someone who follows through, someone who trusts themselves, someone who keeps promises. What if your past was not a life sentence? Your past explains you. It does not define you. Mistakes are information. Setbacks are feedback. The moment you stop using your past as evidence of limitation, it becomes fuel for growth. As a powerful line states, you are not your past decisions. You are your next one. Are you ready to move forward with intention? Everything you want to build requires clarity. Clarity requires honesty. Honesty begins within. Before you map out the future, you must understand the person creating it. Your habits, your thinking, your inner dialogue. This awareness becomes the foundation for intentional action. In the next phase, attention will shift toward turning clarity into direction and direction into structured steps that move you closer to the life you promised yourself. Stay present, because understanding yourself is what makes every next step purposeful. What do you actually want from your life? Before anything meaningful takes shape, there has to be clarity. Not vague hope, not wishful thinking. Clarity. Many people say they want more, but few can clearly articulate what more looks like. They move through life reacting to circumstances instead of directing their path. Ask yourself this honestly. If nothing changed over the next 5 years, would you be satisfied with where you would end up? Clear direction is not restrictive. It is liberating. When you know what you are working toward, your energy has a purpose. Your decisions gain structure. Your time stops leaking into distractions. As one powerful reminder states, a goal without a plan is just a wish. Why do clear goals change everything? Goals give meaning to effort. They turn struggle into progress. They transform discipline from punishment into intention. Without goals, motivation fades quickly. With goals, even difficult days have direction. Consider someone who felt stuck in an unfulfilling career. For years, they complained about their situation but never defined what they actually wanted. The moment they wrote down a clear outcome, everything shifted. They identified a specific role they wanted to move into. They broke the journey into manageable steps. They committed to learning one new skill at a time. Progress was not immediate, but it was consistent. Within 2 years, their life looked completely different. Not because they were lucky, but because they were deliberate. Goals create momentum when motivation cannot. How do you set goals that actually matter? Meaningful goals are rooted in values, not comparison. They reflect who you want to become, not who you are trying to impress. Start by asking better questions. What kind of life feels aligned with who I am? What would growth look like in this season of my life? What am I willing to commit to, even when it gets uncomfortable? Once clarity emerges, make your goals specific. Instead of saying, I want to be healthier, define what that means. Instead of saying, I want success, define what success looks like for you. Specific goals remove confusion. They turn intention into action. As a grounding reminder says, clarity fuels commitment. What does breaking it down really look like? Big goals can feel overwhelming. That is why they must be broken down. Think in steps, not leaps. If your goal feels intimidating, it is likely because you are looking too far ahead. Ask yourself, what is the next small step I can take? What can I do this week? What can I do today? Progress builds through consistency, not intensity. One person wanted to write a book, but felt overwhelmed by the idea. They stopped focusing on the finished product and committed to writing 300 words a day. 300 words did not feel intimidating. It felt manageable. Months later, they had a manuscript. Not because they waited for inspiration, but because they followed a plan. Small actions, repeated daily, create extraordinary outcomes. How do you create a plan that supports you? A plan is not about control. It is about clarity. Your plan should work with your life, not against it. Start by identifying your non-negotiables, your responsibilities, your energy patterns, your limits. Then build your plan around reality, not perfection. Schedule your priorities, not just your obligations. Protect time for what matters. When something is important, it gets planned. When it is not planned, it gets postponed. As a practical truth reminds us, what gets scheduled gets done. What about discipline when motivation fades? Motivation is unreliable. Discipline is dependable. Discipline is not about force. It is about identity. You follow through when your actions align with who you believe you are. Instead of asking, "Do I feel like doing this?" Ask, "What would the person I want to become do right now?" Create systems that reduce resistance. Prepare in advance. Remove distractions. Discipline grows when you make progress visible. Track what you complete. Celebrate small wins. Consistency builds confidence. How do you overcome procrastination without shame? Procrastination is not laziness. It is often fear. Fear of failure. Fear of imperfection. Fear of starting. Instead of criticizing yourself, get curious. What am I avoiding right now? Why does this feel uncomfortable? What is the smallest step I can take? Lower the barrier to action. 5 minutes is enough to begin. Beginning is often the hardest part. As a simple reminder says, action creates clarity. What keeps focus alive over time? Focus fades when goals lose meaning. Reconnect regularly with your reason. Why does this goal matter to you? Who will you become by pursuing it? Visualize the outcome, but commit to the process. Eliminate distractions that drain your energy. Protect your attention as a valuable resource. You do not need to do everything. You need to do the right things consistently. As one statement reinforces, focus is a form of self-respect. Why does persistence matter more than talent? Talent opens doors. Persistence keeps them open. Many people quit when progress slows. Those who succeed adjust instead of abandoning their goals. Consider someone who trained for a marathon. They faced injuries, missed workouts, and moments of doubt. They adjusted their plan. They rested when necessary. They returned with intention. They crossed the finish line not because it was easy, but because they refused to quit. Persistence is not stubbornness. It is commitment with flexibility. What if you trusted yourself to figure it out? You do not need all the answers to begin. You need commitment to learn along the way. Trust grows through action. Confidence grows through follow-through. Every completed step reinforces your belief in yourself. As one empowering line states, you become confident by doing hard things. Are you ready to turn direction into action? Goals give you direction. Planning gives you structure. Action gives you results. You are capable of more than you think. You are stronger than your doubts. You can do this. But growth is not linear, and progress is not without resistance. The next stage of this journey will address the moments when plans are tested, challenges appear, and obstacles stand in your way. Stay focused, because learning how to move through difficulty is what transforms goals into reality. What do you do when things do not go as planned? At some point on every meaningful journey, resistance appears, not as a warning, but as a test. Plans fall apart. Progress slows. Doubt speaks louder than confidence. This is where many people stop, not because they cannot continue, but because they interpret difficulty as failure. Yet struggle is not a signal to quit. It is evidence that you are moving beyond what is familiar. Ask yourself this. When obstacles appear, do you see them as proof that something is wrong, or as proof that something important is happening? Why do setbacks feel so personal? Setbacks have a way of feeling like judgments. like confirmation that you are not capable enough, strong enough, or ready enough. A rejection feels like a verdict. A mistake feels like an identity. A delay feels like a dead end. But setbacks are not personal. They are instructional. They expose weaknesses that need strengthening. They reveal habits that need adjustment. They show you where growth is required. As one grounding reminder states, failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of it. What if falling was never the problem? Everyone falls. The difference is how they respond afterward. Consider a man who spent years building a small business. After early success, a series of poor decisions and unexpected challenges caused everything to collapse. He lost income. He lost confidence. He questioned his worth. For a long time, he believed that failure defined him. Eventually, he realized something critical. What defeated him was not the failure itself, but the story he told himself about it. When he reframed the experience as education rather than defeat, everything changed. He rebuilt with better systems, clearer boundaries, and stronger awareness. His second attempt succeeded, not because the obstacles disappeared, but because he had changed. As a powerful truth reminds us, you do not lose when you fall. You lose when you refuse to rise. Why does resilience matter more than strength? Strength helps you push forward. Resilience helps you get back up. Resilience is not about ignoring pain. It is about moving through it. It is the ability to experience disappointment without surrendering purpose. It is the willingness to keep going even when motivation fades. Resilient people do not avoid hardship. They learn how to recover faster. This ability is not innate. It is trained. How do you build mental toughness without burning out? Mental toughness is not emotional suppression. It is emotional regulation. It begins with acceptance. Acknowledge what hurts without exaggerating it. Name the challenge without letting it define you. Then shift your focus to what you can control. Your effort, your response, your perspective. Ask yourself, what is still within my power right now? What lesson is this moment offering me? As a steady affirmation says, I can handle this, even if it is uncomfortable. What role does perspective play in perseverance? Perspective determines whether pressure crushes you or strengthens you. Two people can face the same setback and experience entirely different outcomes. One sees confirmation of limitation. The other sees opportunity for refinement. The difference lies in interpretation. When you view obstacles as temporary and specific, you stay engaged. When you view them as permanent and personal, you withdraw. Train yourself to ask better questions. What is this situation teaching me? How can this make me better prepared for what comes next? As a reminder goes, your perspective shapes your endurance. What happens when progress feels invisible? Some of the hardest moments occur when effort does not immediately produce results. You show up. You stay consistent. You do the work. Yet nothing seems to change. This is where resilience is tested. Growth often happens beneath the surface before it becomes visible. Skills develop quietly. Confidence builds subtly. Progress is not always loud. Trust the process even when evidence feels scarce. As one simple line states, just because you cannot see it yet does not mean it is not working. How do you respond when motivation disappears? Motivation is fleeting. Resilience is steady. On difficult days, do not wait to feel inspired. Return to structure. Routines create stability when emotions fluctuate. Small actions maintain momentum. Lower your expectations, not your standards. Doing something imperfectly is better than doing nothing perfectly. Ask yourself, what is the smallest step I can take right now? Action restores confidence. What about fear of failing again? Fear often intensifies after disappointment. It tries to protect you from repeating pain. But avoiding risk guarantees stagnation. Courage does not mean absence of fear. It means proceeding despite it. Reframe fear as information. It points to what matters. It highlights growth edges. As one affirmation reinforces, I am brave enough to try again. Why do people who succeed refuse to quit? Those who succeed are not immune to doubt. They are not untouched by failure. They simply decide that quitting is not an option. They adapt instead of abandoning. They rest without retreating. They persist with patience. Consider an athlete who faced repeated injuries. Each setback forced a pause. Each recovery demanded resilience. Instead of giving up, they refined their training, strengthened weak areas, and returned smarter. Their success was built not on uninterrupted progress, but on relentless recovery. As a powerful reminder states, resilience turns pain into progress. How can you strengthen resilience daily? Resilience grows through practice. Reflect after setbacks. What worked? What did not? What can I do differently next time? Build supportive habits. Sleep, nutrition, and movement matter. A regulated body supports a resilient mind. Speak to yourself with firmness and compassion. Encouragement is more effective than criticism. As one grounding statement says, be strong enough to keep going and kind enough to keep learning. What if this challenge is preparing you? Every obstacle shapes you for something ahead. The patience you develop now, the discipline you strengthen now, the perspective you refine now, these qualities carry forward. Your current challenge may not be punishment. It may be preparation. Trust that difficulty is not random. It is formative. Are you ready to keep moving forward? Resilience is not about never struggling. It is about refusing to let struggle define you. You are capable of enduring more than you realize. You are stronger than the doubts you hear. You can recover, adapt, and continue. But resilience must be paired with action. In the next stage, the focus will turn toward moving decisively, maintaining momentum, and translating inner strength into consistent forward motion. Stay engaged, because persistence becomes powerful when it turns into purposeful action. What separates intention from transformation? There is a quiet gap between knowing what you want and actually living it. That gap is not talent. It is not luck. It is action. Most people do not fail because they aim too high. They stall because they wait too long. They wait for confidence to appear. They wait for conditions to improve. They wait for the perfect moment. But the perfect moment does not arrive. Momentum is created, not discovered. Ask yourself this honestly. How many times have you told yourself you would start tomorrow? Tomorrow becomes next week. Next week becomes next year. And eventually, intention turns into regret. As one simple reminder states, action is the bridge between dreams and reality. Why does consistency matter more than intensity? Short bursts of effort feel exciting. They feel productive. They feel inspiring. But excitement fades. Consistency builds results. Consistent effort compounds quietly, day after day. It transforms ordinary actions into extraordinary outcomes. Consider someone who decided to improve their health. They did not overhaul their life overnight. They committed to small, repeatable habits. They walked for 20 minutes each morning. They prepared simple meals. They prioritized sleep. Nothing dramatic happened in the first few weeks. But months later, the change was undeniable. Consistency did what motivation could not. As a grounding truth reminds us, small actions, repeated daily, change everything. What does taking action really look like? Action does not mean doing everything at once. It means doing something consistently. The problem is not that goals are too big. The problem is that they are not broken down. Big goals demand small systems. Ask yourself, what does progress look like today? What is the smallest step that moves me forward? A writer does not write a book in one sitting. They write pages. A runner does not start with a marathon. They start with a single mile. Momentum grows when action feels achievable. How do you turn goals into daily habits? Dreams remain distant until they are embedded in routine. Habits remove the need for constant decision-making. They make progress automatic. Start by anchoring new habits to existing ones. If you want to read more, read 10 pages after breakfast. If you want to exercise, move for 10 minutes after waking up. If you want to learn a new skill, practice for 15 minutes before bed. Keep the habit small enough that resistance stays low. As one practical reminder says, make it so easy you cannot say no. Consistency thrives on simplicity. What happens when you do not feel like showing up? There will be days when energy is low, days when doubt feels heavy, days when skipping feels justified. This is where consistency is tested. On those days, lower the bar, not the commitment. Do less, but do something. 5 minutes still counts. 1 page still counts. 1 step still counts. Showing up maintains identity. As a powerful affirmation states, I am the kind of person who follows through. How do ordinary people achieve extraordinary results? Consider someone who wanted to change careers while working full-time. They studied for 1 hour each night. No weekends lost. No drastic sacrifices. Just steady effort. Over time, knowledge grew. Confidence followed. Opportunities appeared. Their success was not the result of brilliance. It was the result of persistence. As a simple truth reminds us, you do not need more time. You need more consistency. What role does discipline play in momentum? Discipline is not harsh. It is supportive. It protects your goals from mood swings. When discipline replaces motivation, progress becomes reliable. Create structure that supports you. Prepare the night before. Remove distractions. Set clear boundaries around your time. Make it easier to do the right thing than the wrong thing. As one empowering line states, discipline is choosing what you want most over what you want now. How do you recover when you fall off track? Everyone misses days. Everyone slips. The difference is in the response. Do not let one missed day turn into abandonment. Resume immediately. No guilt. No punishment. Progress is built by returning, not by being perfect. As a grounding reminder says, consistency is not about never stopping. It is about never quitting. What keeps momentum alive over the long term? Momentum thrives on meaning. Reconnect regularly with why you started. Who are you becoming through this effort? What kind of life are you building? Track progress visually. Celebrate small wins. Acknowledge effort, not just outcomes. Progress feels motivating when it is noticed. Why starting today matters more than planning tomorrow. Planning is important, but action creates clarity. You learn by doing. You refine by moving. Waiting delays growth. Ask yourself, what is one action I can take today? Not tomorrow. Not next week. Today. As one simple directive states, start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can. What if consistency changed how you see yourself? Each time you show up, you build trust with yourself. Trust builds confidence. Confidence fuels courage. Eventually, action becomes identity. You are no longer someone who tries. You are someone who does. This shift changes everything. Are you ready to commit to the process? The life you promised yourself is built through daily action, not in dramatic moments. In quiet consistency, you do not need perfection. You need persistence. Start today. Take one step. Then take another. Because what you do repeatedly shapes who you become. And in the final moments ahead, it is time to pause, reflect, and look at how far you have come, what you have learned, and how this journey continues with clarity and intention. Stay present. The most meaningful reflections are still to come. What will you remember about this moment? Before this ends, pause for just a few seconds. Let everything you have heard settle, not as motivation, but as truth. Because this moment matters more than you realize. At some point in your life, you made a quiet promise to yourself. A promise to grow. A promise to try. A promise to become someone you could respect when you looked in the mirror. That promise never disappeared. It only waited for your attention. Everything you have reflected on here points back to one simple idea. Your life changes when you decide to become an active participant in it. Have you been listening to yourself honestly? Change begins with awareness, with noticing patterns instead of repeating them, with understanding your strengths without ignoring your struggles. The moment you stop running from yourself, clarity begins. You start seeing your habits for what they are. You recognize which thoughts push you forward and which ones quietly hold you back. As a grounding reminder states, awareness is the beginning of freedom. You cannot change what you refuse to acknowledge. But once you see clearly, you gain choice. What story have you been telling yourself? Your inner dialogue shapes your direction. When you believe growth is possible, you try. When you believe failure defines you, you stop. You have seen how perspective transforms experience, how reframing setbacks turns them into lessons, how belief influences persistence. As one powerful line reminds us, whether you think you can or you think you cannot, you are right. Your story matters. Choose one that supports your future. Where are you willing to aim your effort? Clarity creates direction. Direction turns effort into progress. When you define what matters to you, your energy stops scattering. Goals give shape to intention. Planning turns possibility into structure. You have learned that progress does not require perfection. It requires commitment. As a simple truth states, clarity fuels action. You do not need to do everything. You need to do what matters, consistently. How will you respond when life tests you? Challenges are inevitable. Resistance is guaranteed. But you have seen that resilience is built, not given. That setbacks do not disqualify you. They refine you. Every obstacle carries a lesson. Every delay develops patience. Every failure strengthens awareness. As a powerful affirmation reminds us, I am capable of rising again. You are not defined by how many times you fall. You are defined by your willingness to stand back up. What does it mean to show up every day? Dreams are realized through daily action, not through intensity, but through consistency. You have been reminded that small steps matter, that habits shape identity, that action builds trust with yourself. Each time you show up, you reinforce who you are becoming. As one grounding reminder says, what you do repeatedly becomes who you are. This is how change becomes permanent. What will you do when this video ends? Inspiration fades. Action remains. Do not wait for motivation to return. Choose one step. Write something down. Take 5 minutes. Make one decision aligned with your future. As a direct reminder states, start before you feel ready. Momentum begins with movement. Are you ready to honor the promise you made? The life you promised yourself was never about perfection. It was about intention, about growth, about courage. You do not need to be fearless. You need to be willing to reflect, willing to try again, willing to stay consistent when progress feels slow. As a powerful affirmation states, I trust myself to keep going. What if this is the turning point? One day, you will look back on this moment, not because everything changed instantly, but because something shifted internally. This could be the moment you stopped postponing your life, the moment you chose alignment over comfort, the moment you decided to keep your word to yourself. As a final reminder, your future is created by the choices you make today. Will you take the first step now? Take a breath. Feel the weight of possibility. You are not late. You are not behind. You are exactly where awareness begins. The next chapter is written by action, not intention. Move forward with clarity. Move forward with resilience. Move forward with consistency. And above all, remember this. You are capable. You are becoming. You are worthy of the life you promised yourself. Carry this with you. Start today. Your future is waiting.